just as Qinfeng was rushing back south of the ruins of the Demon City. More than 200 kilometers away, in a ruined city full of stones, there was a masked figure holding a dagger and wearing black leather armor, being besieged by a full-strength team of 60 people. The figure with the black mask was like a ghost. The dagger in his hand emitted a black flame that represented death. Assassin Son of Death Lavon. Grade: Jade Bloodline. Existence countdown: 1 hour, 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Current health value: 71. 2%. Yes. This is exactly the bloodline boss assassin that the ghost came to the stone ruins and turned the 9 stone pillars to open under the guidance of Qinfeng. When she opened the boss, she flexibly used invisibility, sneak attacks, and other means to test the boss's skills while slowly grinding away the boss's blood volume. Although not as perverted as Qinfeng, but Guiling also learned a skill that can obtain a shield from damage. After using it, it can obtain 3 layers of shield from damage, but the cooldown is as long as 1 minute. With this skill, Guiling can withstand 3 times of damage from the assassin. If the shield from damage is used up, she will quickly leave the battlefield. If the speed is fast enough, the boss can basically not catch up with her. After all the skills are cooled down, she will turn on the invisible and continue. Of course, all bosses that reach the emerald level have blood recovery methods, and the blood recovery method of the assassin, the Son of Death, is that in the invisible state, it can recover 3,000 blood points per second. As long as the boss leaves the battle, it will enter the level 5 invisible state. Even in the process of attacking it, it also has 2 skills that will be invisible first and then appear to attack. Fortunately, Guiling's damage is quite high. Her style is the poisoning style. Because of her professional advancement characteristics, the damage to poison units is increased by 70%, which belongs to the extra damage multiplication area. Although the damage increase is not as good as Qinfeng's Shadow Profession, the effect is quite good. Until now, many players and strategy teams have discovered that in order to increase the damage as much as possible, in addition to the basic damage, the most important thing is to achieve as many damage multipliers as possible, but it's a pity. It's far from as simple as imagined to achieve more damage multipliers. The easiest to achieve is 1, 5 times the damage of the weak point attack. The second is the relatively common back attack head attack damage increase. In addition, the damage increase to enemies in the poison state, the damage increase to enemies in the burning state, etc. are very difficult to achieve. At this stage, basically they can only be obtained from the professional advancement effect. For most players, the easiest way is to increase the weak point attack multiplier through equipment and skills, but it is difficult to increase it from 1, 5 to 2x. Only Qinfeng, with a gift of liberation, doubled the weak point attack multiplier from 1, 5x to 3x. Counting the 3x of the professional passive, the back attack damage multiplier is 4, 57, and the damage multiplier to enemies with nightmare scale is 1, 8, which adds up to 74 times the damage. This is one of the important reasons for Qinfeng's explosive damage. At this time, Guiling has a 70% damage increase to poisoned units. Moreover, some of her equipment is the Jade equipment eliminated by Qinfeng, which makes her attributes far superior to ordinary players. Her weakness attack multiplier is stacked to 2, and there is also a 34% back attack damage increase, which makes her final damage reach more than 5 times, as long as the target is poisoned first. Then sneak attack from behind and hit the weakness. Guiling can also deal 20 sun to 30,000 damage with 1 skill. After a set of combos, it can almost knock down more than 200,000 HP of the boss. It looks simple, but the operation requirements of the player are very high. Once the back attack is not triggered and the weakness is not hit, the damage will not reach this level at all. Even so, when Guiling came back a minute later, the Assassin Son of Death had recovered at least 100,000 HP. This was already her limit at this stage. She could only slowly wear down the boss's HP. Guiling still clearly remembered that Qinfeng led her to fight a platinum level strong acid muscle man. At that time, Qinfeng could deal 70,000 to 80,000 damage with a casual Shadow Blade. After so long, I can't even compare to my teacher at that time. Guiling smiled bitterly. When she thought of Qinfeng, she felt like she was facing an insurmountable mountain. Just after she had been entangled with the assassin for nearly 20 minutes, the boss's HP she grinded to about 75%, but what she didn't expect was that at this moment, a full team of 60 players came to the stone ruin. That was the main team of a guild called Yunshan Inn, and Yunshan Inn is a large guild ranked in the top 20 in terms of comprehensive strength in the entire Magic City. President. I have been observing in the woods in the distance for more than 10 minutes. A young man with dyed yellow hair said with a smile, "We have figured out the skills of this emerald boss. With our operation, there will be no problem in attacking it." In the crowd, a young woman in a priest robe smiled and said, "Everyone remember the skills of this boss? React quickly. Be careful of the new mechanism after Half-Blood. Be smart. Also, although I don't know who the assassin is, as long as it is not Shadow, there is no need to care. She can grind away so much blood of the Emerald Boss by herself. Her strength must be strong. Be careful at all times. Adzai, you stay by my side and be careful not to be attacked by others at any time. This team is the elite team of the ruins of the Demon City. Many of the players are very top level. When they came over, they directly took over the assassin boss and began to launch a fierce attack on the boss. Although their individual output is far inferior to that of the Ghost Spirit, they are a team of 60 people after all. With 40 output professions added together, they can fight several times faster than the Ghost Spirit alone. Originally, they thought they would face a sneak attack from the Ghost Spirit and were on guard at all times. But soon they found out the female assassin didn't show up at all. They didn't think it was too strange. After all, she was just a lone assassin. Who would dare to confront a big guild like theirs head on? So, they began to concentrate on attacking the boss. Be careful. The boss is invisible. Slippery Snake. Behind you. I'll dodge. The assassin, Son of Death, held a black dagger, hid behind one of the players, and instantly launched a lightning 5-hit combo. Puff. The player codenamed Slippery Snake had a very fast reaction speed, but was still hit by 2 lightning 5-hit combos, leaving only residual blood. Be careful. This boss has an instant death affix. 1 hit will increase 20%, 5 hits will kill instantly. When the boss releases this skill, the stealth level is quite high, even the ghost can't see through it. But with her extremely fast reaction speed, she can dodge instantly when the boss attacks, and she won't be hit by a single knife. Every time the players of this team encounter this skill, they will be hit by 2 knives, although they will not die. It can be seen how big the gap is between their operations and the ghost. Just at this time, there are 2 official players hiding near this stone ruins, watching this scene. What? Shadow said that we don't need to intervene? Can he swallow this breath? The 2 official players were a little shocked when they received the above reply. Originally, they wanted to take this opportunity to help Shadow, but he said no need to help. Could it be that this Emerald Boss was just given to the other party? Of course. They didn't know that Qinfeng believed in the strength of the ghost, the reason why the ghost didn't show up yet? Of course. It was because she was not in a hurry at all. A lowly girl assassin with short hair was hiding nearby, silently watching the other party attack the boss. She would show up at any time and give the other party a fatal blow. For Guiling, although her early attack was relatively smooth, it did not mean that she could easily kill the boss, because, for boss above Emerald level, the real difficulty lies in the next stage. Since this group of people are here, why not use them to observe the skills of the boss in the next stage? By the way, let them help to hit some of the boss's blood. As long as the opponent's damage does not exceed 50%, the boss will still belong to Guiling in the end. This girl is not a fool. Naturally, she will not run out rashly to kill people. In her hand, she still holds the trump card skill prepared for the attack on this boss. Be careful. President. Behind you, Puff. Although the beautiful president of Yunshan Inn is a priest, she has added a lot of agility in the early stage. Counting the attributes of the equipment, her reaction speed is very fast. When she realized that the boss was invisible behind her and performed a lightning 5 combo, she immediately dodged sideways. Only got hit once. Fuck. The president is awesome. She only got hit once. That's for sure. Otherwise, why is she the president and not you? Too strong. This operational awareness is definitely the ceiling, right? That's for sure. This boss skill is too fast. I don't believe anyone can miss a single hit. A group of people in the team channel complimented and praised. At this time, the young man with yellow hair in the team hesitated for a moment, and then said, "When I just observed that the female assassin was fighting, she didn't get hit at all. For a while." Everyone glared at him. "Brother, your EQ is too low." An elder brother patted his shoulder, making the yellow-haired young man want to cry. To tell the truth is low EQ. At this time, Assassin Son of Death kept counterattacking. The boss swung a black knife light, slashing a large fan-shaped area, but it was dodged by the players who were well prepared. The boss held a dagger in his hand and attacked the team's tank at a very fast speed. Although the tank has high defense and high blood volume, under the treatment of the priest, the blood volume is not under pressure at all, but each attack of the boss comes with the superordinate affix instant death, 3 swords per second, and each tank can only withstand 1.5 seconds at most. Warriors with faster operation reaction can also dodge the general attack for a while. Most warriors can't dodge at all, because they have a lot of blood and defense, and have no advantage in speed. This makes them have to take turns to attract hatred, and it won't be long before they can't take turns. The instant death scale on everyone has reached 70 to 80%. Keep a distance and let the boss use a skill. The beautiful president of Yunshan Inn ordered calmly. The warrior who is currently the main aggro retreated, and the boss really subconsciously released a skill, Black Knife Light. And this just gave the team's meat shields some breathing time. The warrior who first attracted hatred, the instant death gauge on his body finally slowly recovered to 0. and he jumped and slashed to the face of the boss to attract the boss's hatred. It can be seen that this team is very elite. They cooperated very skillfully. Just at this time, the boss's health finally dropped to 50%. Be careful of that female assassin. Spread out and observe the boss's skills. The beautiful president gave the order immediately. She calmly observed the scene and firmly believed that the female assassin had not left. And now, the next stage of the boss is the best time for the female assassin to attack. Result: the ghost still did not appear. On the contrary, the boss's skills surprised them, because after entering the second stage, the Lightning 5 combo of the Assassin Son of Death will be released to the same person in succession. In the first stage, before it was to randomly find someone to assassinate. In that case, everyone's instant death gauge will have time to slowly dissipate, but now, 5 lightning slashes. Puff! 5 lightning slashes. Puff! A female shooter in the team was already sweating profusely. Although she reacted quickly and was only hit twice each time, and then her health was filled up by the priest in the team. But the female shooter who suffered 2 consecutive 5 lightning strikes had her death meter stacked up to 80%. After just 3 seconds, the Son of Death became invisible again. Swish. 5 lightning slashes. Puff. The female shooter played steadily. Although she had already focused, she was still hit twice. The death meter was full and she died on the spot. When she died, her body was instantly covered by black fog and then exploded. At this moment, the players of the entire team around her, all of them have a 20% instant death scale added to them, and the body of the female shooter after her death is still wrapped in black mist, and it looks like it will continue to erupt soon. This is the horror of the Son of Death. At this stage, apart from the teacher, few people can kill the Emerald level boss. The biggest reason is these upper level affixes. Do you really think this boss is so easy to beat? Seeing this, the ghost spirit was still not in a hurry, still hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity like a venomous snake. In the field, the faces of the people in the Yunshan Inn changed drastically when they saw this. Everyone, leave the corpse within 50 meters and switch to output. Pull the boss out too. The beautiful president of the Yunshan Inn immediately commanded everyone to move in one direction at the same time. While everyone was moving the field, the female shooter's body erupted with black mist again. The 20% instant death scale was added to the slow players again. Just as everyone was changing the scene, the Son of Death was invisible again. 5 lightning slashes. A middle-aged priest was still moving and didn't react, so he was hit by 3 swords and died on the spot. Then, the body of the middle-aged priest was also shrouded in black mist and began to spread the instant death energy around. Damn it! If each of us can perfectly dodge the 5 lightning slashes and not get hit by a single sword, then killing this boss is like killing a chicken. Everyone realized the problem. Their reaction is still too slow, but they didn't give up. The players in the group used all their skills and finally left the range of the 2 corpses. After pulling the boss out, they continued to concentrate their output. We have good output. Maybe we can kill the boss before all the people die. Everyone burst out. They fought and moved around, and more corpses wrapped in black fog were left in the field. The entire stone ruins were shrouded in black instant death energy and kept bursting. This made the 2 official players who were observing this scene a little nervous. Damn, they can't really kill this boss. According to the current situation, it's very uncertain, but it is indeed possible. It depends on the performance of the next person. Why haven't the shadow people taken action yet? Are they scared away? They saw the situation and were more nervous than the person involved. It was at this time, when the boss's health was reduced to 30%, suddenly, the boss was covered by a layer of strange black fog. In an instant, the speed of the boss skyrocketed. Abyss potential curse. The ghost hiding on the side finally took action. She directly released a curse on the Assassin Son of Death, which doubled the attributes of the boss in all aspects within 20 seconds. For a moment, the massacre began. Swish, swish, swish. The remaining 30 people in Yunshan Inn had not yet reacted, and 2 of them were killed by the boss's ordinary attack in an instant. This burst of speed made the remaining people's faces change drastically. Thank you for helping to hit more than 40% of the blood. Saving time, the ghost cursed and made it invisible again. Waiting quietly by the side, in her calm eyes, the scene of the players of Yunshan Inn being wantonly slaughtered by the Son of Death was reflected, and these players who were slaughtered by the boss didn't know that they had become part of the ghost calculation. They had no possibility from the beginning to the end to be able to capture this boss. Everything they did was to help the ghost save time to kill the boss. The Son of Death, who was cursed with the potential curse of the Abyss, had his attack, defense, attack speed, movement speed, and skill release speed all increased by 100%. To be honest, this shocked the boss himself, but since there was a chance to slaughter that group of players, the boss would definitely not miss it. The knife fell. 2 casual cuts killed a little friend. Then the little friend's body was entangled in black mist and began to burst out with instant death energy. In the area where corpses were densely packed, the instant death energy could burst out 7 or 8 times per second, and even Qin Feng would die as soon as he entered, just after 20 seconds. The players of Yunshan Inn fled in all directions, and only 3 people survived in the end. That was the beautiful president of Yunshan Inn and another man and woman, because they fled in different directions. They were not caught up by the boss for the time being. Damn. Why did this boss suddenly go berserk? It still has 30% HP. Even if there is a berserk mechanism, it shouldn't have reached that point yet. At this speed, we can't escape at all. The 3 of them looked grim. They thought that they would all die here this time, but at this moment, they suddenly saw that the assassin son of death, who was as swift as a tiger just now, suddenly went into slow motion. The speed of chasing them suddenly became as slow as a snail. What is this? Look, the boss has slowed down. What is the effect of the curse skill? For a moment, the 3 of them looked stunned. Before they could react, a charming figure suddenly appeared behind them, and the pale green chain blade drew a green knife light, accurately hitting the back of their heads. The damage numbers of the 3 weak point attacks appeared above their heads instantly. 3 kills. Then, Geeling did not continue to hide, but held her exclusive weapon in one hand, and the 15th level Jade level weapon, Forest Bone Blade, given to her by Qin Feng in the other hand, and killed the Son of Death, whose attributes were reduced by 90% by the curse, weakened attack, weakened defense, most importantly, slowed down. The Son of Death, whose attack speed and movement speed were slowed down by 90%, was almost like a snail in Guiling's eyes. She could easily dodge the opponent's attack, then go behind the opponent and launch a back attack and weak point attack. In this case, Geeling would not be hit by the boss's attack even once. When the boss's health quickly dropped to only 15%, the health bar turned gray again, and then the Black Death energy burst out from the boss. That's right, this boss has one last stage. Even when entering the stage, the negative status on the body will be cleared. It's a pity. This boss is only an Emerald level boss. The Abyss Potential Curse is an epic skill. As a result, the boss cannot remove the curse effect. Even after entering the final violent stage, the Son of Death is still in a state of being slowed down by 90%. This state lasts for a total of 300 seconds. This makes it like a dimensionality reduction attack for Geeling to face this boss. From this, it can be seen that Huang Ziqing, who previously possessed the Abyss Slow Curse and the Abyss Silence Curse, has a huge advantage in facing a Platinum level boss. It is understandable that the boy would be arrogant, but it's a pity that he provoked Qin Feng just in the final stage of Guiling killing the boss. The 2 official personnel who had been observing from the beginning to the end were completely dumbfounded. Originally, they were still wondering, how could someone from the same guild as Shadow be so cowardly? He didn't say anything even after the boss was robbed. Now it seems they had already calculated everything. This is too strong. The whole team was wiped out, and the team helped to deal more than 40% of the damage. Damn. I should have known earlier. How could it be so easy to be in the same guild as Shadow? This boss is indeed an Emerald level boss. In fact, even if this girl doesn't take action, Yunshan Inn can't capture it at all. That's right. They may not be able to pass the second stage, let alone the violent stage. But what means did this girl from the Shadow Guild use to slow down the boss so much? For a moment, the 2 official staff were a little bit unbelievable. If the official had the means to slow down the boss, wouldn't any Emerald level boss be easy to capture? Instead of like now, it takes a long time to beat an Emerald level boss, and there is a high probability that it will not be defeated in the end. The 2 people quickly reported the situation. After Wanye Weiyu learned about it, she was even more confused. What? She is an assassin, and she killed a group of people from Yunshan Inn with the help of the boss? Now she has slowed down the boss and is about to kill it. I know her operation belongs to the top masters, but this is too exaggerated, right? Wanye Weiyu asked herself if it were her. Even if she could harass and team up with the boss to wipe out the other team, she would not be able to kill the boss as well. I heard before that there seems to be another girl in the Shadow Guild, but I have never met her. Why is she so powerful as soon as she appears? Wanye Weiyu suffered a huge blow. She always thought that, except for Shadow, her strength was second to none among all players. But now it seems there are too many players with hidden talents in this world. Or is it that the girl became so strong because she was with Shadow? But even if Shadow is not counted, her scheming and calmness are far beyond most players. Wanye Weiyu sighed. She found that in this godforsaken game, all the lone players should not be underestimated. And she finally understood what Qin Feng meant when he told her, don't worry, she can handle it herself. This little sister? Both in terms of strength and scheming, she is much more powerful than all of us imagined. Just at this time, everyone in Yunshan Inn had been killed and returned to their hiding place one after another when they were resurrected. They were pale and deeply shocked. Especially the beautiful president When she and the remaining two were killed by Guiling in one blow, she immediately checked the killing record after resurrection. It was learned that the one who killed her was called Guiling. This is not important. The important thing is, the guild of this ghost is Shadow. Shadow Guild. Isn't this Shadow's guild? Is this female assassin from Shadow? This discovery made the beautiful guild leader dumbfounded. She didn't know before, but now this discovery surprised her. No wonder she is so strong. It turns out she is Shadow's woman. The beautiful guild leader said bitterly in the guild channel, "Everyone, I'm sorry. I just made a wrong decision and provoked Shadow's woman. Originally, someone in their guild channel was cursing Ghost. As a result, when the beautiful guild leader said this, the entire guild channel instantly became dead silent. Player Tofu Soft has quit the guild. Mata. Player Slippery Snake has quit the guild. Tap. Player Resurrection My Love has quit the guild. Done." All of a sudden, a series of system prompts sounded in the guild channel. In just a short while, the original 6 Zozen members of Yunshan Inn were reduced to more than 3. Of the remaining half, a large part were offline. This made the beautiful president look bitter. She really didn't know that the female assassin would be a member of Shadow. However, in the final analysis, this was also because she was used to being arrogant. Otherwise, she would not have encountered such a thing. However, the president was also brave enough to take responsibility. She quickly made a decision and sent people to the place where they were wiped out to apologize to Guiling. Qinfeng and Guiling didn't know that in just a short while, a guild in the top 20 of the Magic City was about to disband. And this was only because the other party found that they had provoked Qinfeng. Even if they didn't succeed, the deterrence from Shadow was enough to make the guild fall apart. No one wanted to offend Shadow. The dissolution of Feike-heavy industry. The blood and tears lessons of so many people are still vivid in our minds. What is even more unexpected is that there is another piece of news coming from that guild. Shadow has a girlfriend. She is also an assassin. Of course, this news is not spread so quickly. At least Qinfeng and Guiling don't know about it at present. At this time, Qinfeng has returned to the teleportation array of the Sichuan ruins, chose to teleport back to the Demon City ruins, and then returned to the Evil Spirit Academy. 8-armed thief Saint. Eye of Knowledge. These two NPCs conquered by Qinfeng have returned to the Evil Spirit Academy, and they were arranged by Qinfeng in the ground area so that they can interact with the players of the Sky Guild, Shili Qingshan. Master, I'm sorry to bother you, my grandpa wants to ask, is that big-eyed guy good at playing chess? He said he can play a game with a lifespan of 20 years. Can he play? Faced with this question, Qinfeng answered truthfully, I don't know. Anyway, I played 10 games with it and won 10 games. Shili Qingshan. Oh, okay. Thank you, master. Qinfeng knew that it was old Zheng who was addicted to chess. He couldn't help thinking, this is not a scam, right? I played 10 games with Big Eyes and won all of them. Even if old Zheng believed Qinfeng's words and ran over to play a few games, he would definitely be able to see the level of Big Eyes, that is, a super AI. Then, Qinfeng told Shili Qingshan about the services and prices of Double Experience and Robbery Master. If anyone in the Sky Guild needs it, they can ask Qinfeng to open the permissions. As for the Stealing Saint Talisman, Wang Yiweiyu has said that the Magic City official will take the remaining 50, most of which have some special functions, and can forcibly obtain some important items from some prisoners. With NPCs, you can earn life continuously. Just 100 Stealing Saint Talismans can earn 1,000 years of life in a week. Plus the income from teaching the Stealing Saint Hand and opening Double Experience. This is a continuous source of life. It's a pity that the guild tax rate is only set at 50%. When Qinfeng returned to the Evil Spirit Academy, according to the needs of the Sky Guild, he set up the permission for several players to learn the Stealing Saint Hand. Learning it once consumes 100 years of life, and Qinfeng can earn 50 years. Originally, he had not planned to make this skill public, but after thinking about it, it was just a low-quality skill with such a small attribute increase, and it would not have much impact if it was made public. Although there are not many players who have enough life to learn this skill at present, but there will be more and more in the future. In addition, there are only 100 opportunities per week to open Double Experience. Qinfeng must keep 7 opportunities for himself and Guiling respectively, and the remaining 86 permissions can be released not only to the Skydome Guild, it can also be released to the official Magic City. Even if the members of the Shudao Mountain Guild are willing to spend 70 or 80 years of life to travel to Magic City, Qinfeng can also give them permissions. In short, these two NPCs will create a steady stream of wealth for Qinfeng. In addition, an auction will be held tonight to auction the 3 platinum level hideouts. At least it can be auctioned for 4,000 or 5,000 years. The 3 together are tens of thousands of years. After I get these lifespans, I will buy the level of the Robbery Saint. Qinfeng thought, although the number of pure natural platinum level hideouts is rare and precious, there is also an upper limit on the price, because there are actually many gold level hideouts in the city ruins, and the price is stable. If the price of the platinum hideout is too high, it is better to buy a few more gold hideouts. Generally speaking, selling the 3 platinum hideouts now will bring the highest profit. If you wait for a while, although the efficiency of brushing life will be higher, but at the same time, players will also find that they can build their own hiding place through the Book of Divine Grant Defense Barrier. However, at this stage, players cannot pass the challenge of the high-level Divine Power Tower, Teleportation Array, Defense Barrier, Light and Shadow Crystal, and a series of high-level items can be obtained from the high-level Divine Power Tower. Qinfeng can challenge it. But the location of the high-level Divine Power Tower is relatively far away, and he is not in a hurry to go there. Let's upgrade first. Then, Qinfeng found the Eye of Knowledge, Aristotle, who was playing chess with Lao Zhengtou and others, and consumed 50 years of life to open the double experience state that lasted for 3 hours. Looking at the excitement of Lao Zhengtou and others, it is obvious that they did not realize what was waiting for them. And the big eyes with golden pupils looked harmless, making people completely unguarded. Let's go and level up. Qinfeng rode on Osiris and flew to the south of the ruins of the Magic City, ready to find a high-level monster spawning point and spawn for 3 hours. On the way, he would pass the stone ruins where the ghost was, and he could touch the body of the assassin by the way. Just then, Qinfeng received a private message from the ghost. She first roughly explained the situation, and then said, "Teacher, now someone has come to apologize, saying that in order to show sincerity, you can spend 300 years of life to buy the body of this boss and touch the body. If you touch the extra loot, you will give me 5 times the life. And you can also give me all the assassin equipment, skill books. Do you think I should agree?" Obviously, the ghost did not learn the Hand of Greed. This condition is indeed very cost-effective for the ghost. The possibility of touching the body of the Emerald level boss with the Bronze level Hand of Greed is almost negligible. It took 300 years to get this, which was clearly giving money to the ghost. This was really sincere. If they really found it, they would give 5 times the lifespan and give the assassin's equipment and skill books to the ghost. This would undoubtedly be a loss. You have to know that it was a lifespan of 500 years. If the 2 or 3 Jade level items found were all assassins, then the other party would lose everything. You have to know. Now on the market, in addition to what Qinfeng had fought, there are also a small number of Jade level equipment skill books. They were all obtained by encountering the wild and opening treasure chests. The price is basically between 300 and 500 years, and the skill books are a little more expensive than the equipment. For 2 or 3 Jade level items, they offered a lifespan of 500 years, which shows that the sincerity of the Yunshan Inn is really sufficient. Not to mention that their bronze level greedy hands will most likely fail to touch the corpse, which is equivalent to giving the ghost 300 years for free. Hearing the words of the ghost, Qinfeng pondered for a moment, then said meaningfully, "If someone wants to give money, only a fool would not accept it. But you tell them that you have a condition. Wait for me to touch the corpse? My hands are red, and I will give money as usual." Red hands. The ghost who received this message was a little confused. Teacher actually believes in metaphysics. No one knows what effect Qinfeng's Hand of Greed has. Even the ghost spirit is the same. So when she heard Qinfeng say that he wanted to touch the corpse himself, the little girl was a little amused. "Teacher, do you like the feeling of lottery?" The ghost spirit smiled helplessly. Of course. The ghost spirit would have no objection to this. However, Qinfeng immediately sent another sentence. "Just tell them I will give them 3 pieces of jade equipment and 10 pieces of platinum equipment in exchange for 500 years of life. Forget about the boss corpse." The ghost spirit was even more confused. What is this game? But soon, the ghost spirit realized Qinfeng wanted to take this opportunity to cheat the other party. Teacher may not want to touch the corpse himself, but just want them to pay the biggest price. The ghost spirit understood it all at once. She felt that Qinfeng must have a lot of jade level and platinum level equipment on him. If he picked some garbage and gave it to the other party would have to pay double the price to buy it. And this is exactly the sincerity given by the other party, completely defeated the other party. If not, it would be almost impossible for them to find anything by touching the corpse. In that case, they would only pay 300 years of life, but in this case, they would have wasted 700 to 800 years of life. Teacher still likes to cheat people. Ghost Spirit smiled secretly. She felt that she understood Qinfeng's thinking and was very happy, but she didn't know that she only understood half of it. For Qinfeng, the corpse of the Emerald Boss could bring him benefits far exceeding the life that the guild could provide. Near the stone ruins, Ghost Spirit was squatting next to the corpse of the assassin son of death, slowly recovering. At the same time, she told the person in front of her about Qinfeng's proposal, and standing in front of her was a young assassin from the Yunshan Inn. The young assassin was about the same age as Ghost Spirit, and it could be seen that she had a very spirited personality. I'm very sorry. The assassin girl kept bowing and apologizing in front of the ghost, with her back straight, and she shouted very loudly. Our president deeply realized her mistake. We are willing to agree to your proposal. Please forgive us. We will never steal anyone else's boss again. We will not bully anyone. We will mend our ways. Take you and Brother Shadow as examples." The assassin girl's voice was loud and sincere. It can be seen that she envied the ghost. After all, Shadow is the world's #1 existence, and many legendary deeds have spread all over the world. The one who can be related to Shadow is even Lady Shadow. How can this not be enviable? Listening to the spirited and loud voice of the assassin girl, the ghost was a little ashamed. The girl came up and apologized sincerely, and called her Mrs. Shadow, which made her deny it immediately, saying that Shadow was just her teacher, but unexpectedly. This denial not only did not clear up the other party's misunderstanding, but made the other party's eyes become a little strange. Ghost Spirit was a little suspicious. Could this girl have thought of some strange way to play? But fortunately, the other party did not continue to call her Mrs. Shadow, which made her feel relieved. For Qin Feng, Ghost Spirit respected him too much and did not dare to have any improper thoughts. Moreover, she could actually feel that Qin Feng was obviously deliberately keeping a distance from her. At this time, listening to the apology and assurance of the young assassin, Ghost Spirit was too lazy to pay attention. She just nodded and said coldly, "Okay, then let's add each other as friends. You go first. When I return to the ruins of the Magic City, I will trade with you. Remember, it's 3 pieces of jade equipment and 10 pieces of platinum equipment in exchange for your 500 years of life." The young assassin stood straight and saluted immediately. "Yes, I understand. Thank you for your forgiveness." So, both parties added each other as friends. The young assassin thanked Qin Feng profusely and repeatedly promised on behalf of the present that she would not do such a thing again, and then left. The ghost spirit rested on the spot, waiting for Qin Feng while studying the assassin bloodline that he had just obtained. Speaking of which, she still had some feelings, because the assassin's last violent stage has several more skills, and even skills like instant shadow slash. Although the casting speed has slowed down, once it is released, it will instantly launch several slashes on the path, and each slash will add 50% of the instant death scale. Fortunately, the teacher explained to me the skills after the boss went berserk. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to react at all. Ghost sighed Key. While she admired Qin Feng more, she also clearly realized that she still had a long way to go. The instant death affix could not even resist the damage shield. Once she was hit by 2 knives, she would die instantly. And this also made her understand that if she did not have the Abyss Potential Curse, which weakened the target's various attributes by 90%, it would be too difficult for her to kill this boss. As for other players, don't even think about it. Even if they can figure out a strategy over time, no one can react to the final violent stage. As long as it is an emerald level boss with a higher level affix, other players will have to develop for at least many days before they can defeat it more smoothly. After killing the boss, the assassin bloodline effect obtained by the ghost spirit also made her astonished, because this bloodline actually comes with 5 points of instant death affixes. These 5 points of instant death affixes allow her to add the instant death scale to the target every time she attacks. When it reaches 100%, she can kill the target instantly. Ignoring all mechanisms, damage immunity, shield, invincibility all are invalid. This bloodline actually comes with an instant death affix. Teacher actually gave it to me. Geeling was a little shocked at first, but soon realized these 5 points of instant death affixes are too low for Qin Feng. Even if the target does not have instant death resistance, it takes 20 attacks to kill it instantly, and for Qin Feng, who needs 20 attacks to kill, even against a diamond boss? It doesn't take so many attacks, but for Guiling, the concept is completely different. Her attacks are not as explosive as Qin Feng's. Although she can crush ordinary players, she is not so strong when fighting boss. Now with the instant death affix, it's different. Of course, the higher the grade of the boss, the higher the resistance to instant death. It is not so easy to really kill the boss instantly. You still have to formulate different strategies according to different bosses. It is a shortcut, but not a cheat. Unlike the teacher, who can kill any boss instantly. Geeling's beautiful eyes were full of admiration, just as she thought so. Qin Feng finally arrived. He appeared in front of Geeling in black leather armor. "This is the equipment I picked. You can trade it with them later." Qin Feng traded 3 jade equipment and 10 platinum equipment. When Guiling saw Qin Feng, she immediately stood up and greeted him. Then she accepted the equipment. When she saw the equipment, the corners of her mouth couldn't help twitching. These equipment are jade and platinum grade, but why are the attributes so bad? These are things that no one would buy if they were put on the market normally. Geeling originally thought that the other party would be cheated, but I never expected that I would be cheated out of such a huge sum of money. The ghost looked at the properties of a piece of equipment at random. Tough black bow emerald grade. Archer weapon. Physical attack 760. Agility +6. Defense +369. Required level 18. Damn. Unique special effect. This bow cannot shoot arrows, but the melee damage is increased by 17%. An archer weapon that cannot shoot arrows? What's the use of this? In the later stage, there may be some strange skills and equipment combinations that can bring out the power of this weapon. But for now, this weapon is not used by anyone at all. Although other melee professions can use this weapon to hit people, but the weapon properties are only effective for 70%, and if the weapon type does not match, they cannot release any skills of their profession. It means that you can only use this bow for normal attacks, and even most passive attack special effects cannot be triggered. This equipment simply made the ghost dumbfounded. There is also this Exhaustion Gloves Emerald Grade. Mage type armor, Spirit plus 45, Mana limit plus 95%, Elemental attack power 72, required level 19. Unique special effect, Elemental skill power increases by 13%, but 47% of maximum mana is lost per second. The good news is that this equipment provides a 13% independent damage multiplier. The bad news is that once this equipment is worn, the mana will be exhausted after 2 seconds. It can be imagined that in battle, before each skill is released, a bottle of mana recovery potion must be drunk, and the use of potions still has a cooldown. Not to mention that it is different from weapons. This armor cannot be worn by other professions. Otherwise, assassins, warriors, and swordsmen who play elements can really use this pair of gloves. After all, these professions have no mana limit. For the equipment that Qin Feng took out, Geeling was really convinced. I wonder what the president of Yunshan Inn would feel when he saw these equipment. Only Qin Feng knows. Most of these equipments have noble independent multiplication, zone damage increase. It's just that because the equipment level is too low, the value is too low, so it seems useless. If it is level 40 or 50 equipment, with an independent damage multiplication zone of 30 to 50%, then this kind of equipment is not only not waste, but a super excellent product that many players are fighting for. Even if there are only 5 pieces of this kind of equipment, although it will have various negative effects, but all superimposed together, it can provide several times the damage increase. Now, the equipment level is too low, the damage increase effect is not obvious, but the negative effect is extremely fatal. This kind of equipment will definitely not be sold. A bunch of this kind of equipment used to exchange for 500 years. Simply a blood profit. Qin Feng will not be soft-hearted to the Yunshan Inn Guild. After all, the other party wants to grab the boss, so it has to pay a little price. By the way, after Qin Feng traded the equipment to Guiling, he held the body of the assassin son of death in one hand and turned around to throw it on Osiris. I'm going to level up in the south? Qin Feng said goodbye to the ghost. He rode on Osiris and flew into the sky, then released his greedy hand towards the boss corpse. 360 evolution points were obtained, more than 10 diamond level loot and more than 40 jade level loot. Among them, there were actually 2 useful passive skill books. Finally, the assassin spirit training and physical training are out. The skill books for 4-dimensional attribute training are separate for different professions. Qin Feng got a lot of attribute training skill books for other professions, but the assassin spirit and physical training have always been missing. Now they are finally complete. He spent 33 evolution points each to evolve these 2 skill books to the legendary level. Spirit Training Emerald arrive, Diamond arrive, Epic arrive, Legend. Passive improvement of 51 arrive, Setang. Arrive 1 2 arrive 153 spirit points. Required level 20. New additions to Legendary. Increase your total spiritual attribute by 10%. Constitution Training Emerald arrive, Diamond arrive, Epic arrive, Legend. Passively increase 48 arrive, 72 arrive, 96 arrive, 144 points of Constitution. Required level 18. New additions to Legendary. Increase your total Constitution attribute by 10%. Next, I have to work hard to get some equipment or skills with the stripping affix. After all, I'm a lone wolf. It's hard to deal with epic bosses if the stripping attribute is not enough. At this stage, Qin Feng has no pressure to deal with diamond bosses, but he still lacks a little to deal with epic bosses. The most important thing is that he can't resist the upper affixes for the time being, but as long as he has a high stripping affix, he can effectively restrain any upper affixes of the boss. Of course, if Qin Feng really encounters an epic boss now, he is not completely unable to deal with it. It just requires constant maneuvering and will waste a lot of time. Also, if you want to transform your combat power in a short period of time, the simplest one is the Ancient God Slate. I now have a Cursed Slate with a cooldown, a Blessed Slate with the Nightmare affix. I can't refine it for the time being. It would be great if there were a new Ancient God Slate, preferably a cursed one, and washing out a good attribute would mean a transformation in combat power. In this regard, it would be difficult for Qin Feng to find it by running around alone, and he also tried to ask the Eye of Knowledge about the location information of such resources, but the guy didn't know anything. However, this guy knows all the knowledge points about some boss and NPC. With this guy, the difficulty of opening up most bosses has dropped sharply. At present, Qin Feng has not opened the information query permission to anyone, because he himself has not figured out how much this big guy knows, and it might threaten him. The next 3 hours, Qianfeng seized the time and came to a leveling point called Crawling Abyss at the fastest speed. This place is a disaster area with 1,000 times the life flow rate. The refreshed monsters seem to be all the weakest crawlers. In fact, they are all nobles and royal families among crawlers. And their levels are around level 30. Double experience time should naturally be used in the most efficient leveling area. It seems that there are still a few guys in the Judgment Land who have forgotten. Forget them. Ignore them and go after the double experiences used up. Qianfeng didn't care. Anyway, the 6 people trapped in the Judgment Land can't run away at all, and they can't even move. Just as Qianfeng quickly leveled up, northeast of the ruins of the Demon City, more than 2,000 kilometers away. This area is already a chaotic area with violent areas and disaster areas interlaced everywhere. At this stage, few players come here, but at this moment, there is a young player wrapped in a magic robe, standing in the violent area. The robe flutters in the wind, and only a pair of extremely cold eyes are revealed under the gray hood. He is a summoner. Shadow, if I lure the epic boss to your hiding place, how will you deal with it? If Qianfeng is here, he will find that he doesn't know this young summoner at all. And this young summoner is controlling his summoned creatures, one after another, to slowly lure out an epic boss in the sea area of the nightmare area ahead. The epic boss, the great disaster Hades. Kill Shadow first, then destroy Daxia, then North America, and the whole world. Shadow hasn't killed the epic boss yet, which means he is probably not the opponent of the epic boss. As long as I am cautious enough, no one will know that I did this plan. It would be best if we can kill Shadow, even if we can't kill him. An epic boss is enough to test his trump card, right? Then use the resources of the Sky Serpent organization as a stepping stone. The young summoner looked at the private chat window indifferently. A player with a string of English code names sent him a series of Chinese messages, which roughly meant that when he completed this task, regardless of whether he could kill Shadow or not, he would become one of the leaders of the North American Sky Serpent organization. However, this guy didn't know that the Sky Serpent organization was originally on Qianfeng's destruction list, and he didn't know even more. The epic boss, Great Disaster Hades, who was being used as a tool and wanted to be lured to the ruins of the Demon City, was also sneering from afar. You know, epic bosses all have complete personalities and IQs. This is also the most important reason why Qianfeng has not provoked any epic bosses until now. If it was just a mechanical boss, Qianfeng would have been able to deal with it at this stage. But the epic boss is completely different from all the previous bosses. Northeast of the Magic City, more than 2,000 kilometers away, the sea area was treacherous and turbulent. A lizard-like summoned creature rolled out of the sea and tried to escape. But suddenly, a 7 or 8 meter long bone arm stretched out from the sea and slapped the lizard hard, smashing it into meat paste on the spot. Then, a humanoid boss wearing a dark white metal armor gradually walked out of the sea. There was no flesh and blood on his body, and he was completely made of skeletons. He was nearly 20 meters tall, and in the hollow of the skeleton's eye sockets, dark flames burned. A 10 meter long bone giant sword was tightly held in his left hand. The right hand slowly raised from the beach, and the blood from the summoned creature lizard slowly flowed from the finger bones. Great Disaster Hades Halls. Level 30. Grade. Epic. Very good. Successfully led out of the sea. Next, we have to lead it to the ruins of the Demon City, the School of Evil Spirits. A young summoner, hiding in the dark, with a cold face, raised his hand again to summon a wolf-like and dog-like creature, rotten all over, exuding a poisonous breath. After the summoned creature appeared, it hid far away in the rubble on the beach, and sprayed a mouthful of poisonous saliva at the epic boss, Great Disaster Hades, who walked out of the sea. Zero. Bah. Immune to poisoning? Ban. The summoned creature of the young summoner cannot break the defense at all, but the hatred can be pulled. The Great Disaster. Pluto looked at the summoned creature, slowly raised his feet, and walked towards that direction. This scene looks like the pulling boss scene that game players are very familiar with, but in fact, this is just the Great Disaster Pluto willing to cooperate. I am imprisoned here, and my level is suppressed to level 30, although I have been given an epic boss template. All aspects of the attributes have skyrocketed, but the range of activities is also limited. If there is no accident, I can't leave this nightmare Great Disaster Sea, but I didn't expect this accident to come so early. The godforsaken game is divided into boss, basically has its own territory, and within the territory, there will be additional combat power increase. But if you wait for the players to come to you, when you really meet the player's strength has already grown to a certain extent. If you can find a way to leave your own territory and go outside the territory, can you find weak players in advance to slaughter them and plunder the players' lives? The only way for the epic boss to leave its own territory is to use skills with displacement to chase and kill the target of hatred so as to break through the blockade. In other words, it is equivalent to being slowly pulled out by someone in the way of pulling monsters. Every time you come to a new area, the epic boss will move freely in that small area. So, now this great disaster Pluto hauls is equivalent to using the young summoner to go to a wider world. Moreover, the young summoner thought that the boss did not find him. In fact, the great disaster Pluto realized that it was the summoner player who was playing tricks. It seems that this human player is a bit world weary. In that case, I'll help him. Wouldn't it be great if you could send me all the way to the ruins of the city where players gather? Players who are only more than 10 levels at this stage are all snacks in front of me. Of course, to thank this human player, I will give you a more decent death, a distance of more than 2,000 kilometers. Every time the young summoner summons, he has to wait for the skill to cool down and slowly pull the boss back. He found that the whole process was unusually smooth, but every time the boss is pulled out of range, the extra range of activity of the boss is only about 300 meters, so he has to keep pulling. At this speed, it will take at least 2 days to pull this boss to the ruins of the Demon City. The young summoner is not in a hurry, because the Skysnake organization has earned him 200 years of life through channels, which is enough to make up for his time loss. He slowly hid in what he thought was the dark place, constantly summoning his men, asking them to lead the epic boss further and further away. But he had no idea that he was like a clown in the eyes of the boss. And at this time, Qinfeng was leveling up quickly in the crawling abyss. Every time he made a move, the sword light burst out, creating a field of high-level crawling corpses. During this leveling process, his experience soared, and his evolution points occasionally gained. In addition to the occasional 1 point given by the monsters, this place also occasionally appeared bronze, silver, and even gold-level small boss. Of course, for Qinfeng, these level 30 small bosses can also be solved with one knife. The difference is that they can give more experience, evolution points, and nightmare resistance. At this moment, Qinfeng's nightmare resistance has reached more than 420 points through the effect of endless nightmare and continuous monster killing. It is equivalent to his resistance to nightmare affixes, reaching 4 or 5 times that of ordinary players. If other players fall into nightmares in 10 seconds, Qinfeng can last for 40 or 50 seconds, nearly a minute. If it is against an epic boss with the main nightmare affix, Qinfeng can now kill it at will. Of course, the premise is that his killing Starblade has 33, 6 stripping affixes. This is his capital to kill the boss. The monsters in this place have a high drop rate. Qinfeng had been scouting for more than 2 hours. When the double experience gain ended, he looked at the greedy space. This time he gained a lot. Although he didn't encounter any boss above gold, he also got a lot of useful skill books. For example, the 28th level Ghost Blur skill book, the 30th level Instant Shadow Slash skill book. As long as the level reaches the level, once the skill book is learned, the values of these 2 skills can be increased. Afterwards, Qinfeng continued to swipe monsters in this place. The experience points required for the 4th career advancement are getting less and less. At the same time, the news from Zheng Jinshuan that the auction of the 3 platinum level hideouts has been successfully completed. The prices are between 4,500 and 5,000 years. After all, it is this time, and the ability of players to swipe life has become stronger, and prices will definitely rise. As for the hideouts, they are all official guilds. The key to the Green Moss Cave was won by Daxia Bank for a lifespan of 650 years. The key to the Prison of Misery was won by Daxia Navy for a lifespan of 780 years. Finally, the key to the Fluorescent Underground River, the most competitive hideout key, was won by Modu Jiaotong University for a lifespan of 965 years. In fact, it wasn't just the official guilds that participated in the auction. There were also many large guilds in Modu. But it's clear that the official financial resources of Modu are still top-notch when they know that they can build their own hideouts later, and the cost of the platinum level defense barrier is only about 2,000 years. They will probably regret it, right? Qinfeng felt a little embarrassed when he heard the news. These official guilds are really too polite. In addition, the players who are developing faster now have finally reached level 16-17. Although he was still nearly 10 levels lower than Qinfeng, he could finally sell some of the platinum and jade equipment Qinfeng had stored. 3 hours later, Qinfeng had killed all the monsters in the crawling abyss, and was too lazy to wait for the refresh. So he rode on Osiris and went home with a great harvest.